Welcome to the Trailer Park Podcast. This is episode 2, and we're going to be talking about Knights of the Old Republic, the remake, Star Wars in general, I'd say.
Mhm.
My guest here is Connor. He's a big KOTOR fan, as we've talked about KOTOR for what, like 3 or 4 years at this point, just when we
Yeah,
both
maybe even
realized we
more.
liked it. Yeah. Who do you write for at the moment?
Sportstalk.com.
Sports Talk. Okay, I couldn't remember for a second. I knew it was sports something.
Yeah. I do
Um,
general gaming stuff now. I've been working on a KOTOR article, but it's slow going.
I'm working on a KOTOR video, and it's my first. I did a light side playthrough, which was like 40 hours, and I'm currently like speed running a dark side playthrough.
Hmm.
I've gotten about half the game done in about 10 hours, I think, 10 or 12 hours, which is way better than my first playthrough. That I like went through all dialogue and like let it play
Right.
out, so it was. But
Chuta.
yeah, so much talking. But so this main subject we're gonna kind of land on here is KOTOR remake. What we're interested in seeing, kind of our fears almost
Mhm.
going into the remake. What we think can be improved, what we want to see stay the same, and everything. I want to start with, what's your idea about like this, I guess, the story elements? Do you want a mostly unchanged story,
Yeah.
do you, I would agree with that. Do you think that they're going to add more side bits and like flesh out things in general?
I think they will, and I would be okay with that. Like, if they want to, like, obviously they're gonna like stop the Juhani quest from breaking the entire game, which it's done for me in the last two playthroughs where I've tried to do the Juhani quest.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that is obviously going to be changed, and I'd like to see them add a few more bits, like, I don't know, flesh out minor characters, like maybe the two dudes who run the shops on Dantooine. Maybe add a few characters, like small little things, like robe customization options or something like that. But if they start changing like major story elements, then we're gonna have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Disney renamed Korriban the home of the Sith, the birthplace of the Sith Order. I don't know what to call them, but like if they change the name of a planet, okay, fine. If they add a new planet, like ooh, it better be really good.
Yeah,
And if they, yeah,
that'd be real weird if they just decide, you know what, not enough planets, you know. Even though, if you do, I think, like, what is it? Kashyyyk is like the planet with like the least amount of side quests, like the least amount of content in a sense.
yeah,
Um,
I'd like to see some more stuff there. It'd be cool.
yeah, I think that would be interesting. And that reminded me, because I'm doing that planet right now for my dark side playthrough, and the Zerka corporation mentions how they're renaming the planet,
Right? Yeah,
and it's such
Dian,
a,
I think.
yeah, and they're like, it makes much more sense than this old archaic, from their stupid language. I was like, that feels very current age-ish in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, it's too real.
A lot of elements of the game feel too real now that I'm playing them when I'm, 25. It's
Uh-huh.
insane. Um, just a lot of, like, Basila's story, like her whole like companion storyline was really interesting. I just finished that doing my
Hmm.
I didn't do anything for her on my light side playthrough. I didn't do a whole lot of I did like all the side quests that weren't companion specific for the most part.
Hmm.
But like I've done hers and like missions this past playthrough, because I forgot you
Hmm.
can find Mission's brother on Tatooine.
Yeah, that part's fun. It's a
And,
piece of shit.
oh yeah, he's an asshole. It's been real nice streaming on Twitch, because I have some people in my Twitch chat, like, if I forget something, they'll either look it
Yeah.
up or just tell me how to do it because they remember.
Hmm.
Um, but
You gotta love the community around old games.
oh yeah. And something I was thinking about while I was playing, because I've been playing the Old Republic just in my spare time while playing through this on stream and everything. I'd be interested to see what they do with the combat. Obviously, I don't think they're going to go anywhere
Yeah.
near like an MMO style combat, because since it's a single player experience, they can kind of make it more in depth. But I don't see the combat of KOTOR returning, because it is this
Yeah.
like ancient style, and it's
It's
like
really bad, actually. I did not
I
enjoy.
like it. I like it
It
still.
works, but it's very clunky
It is very
and not very
clunky.
tactical.
It's very breakable too, because you can just
Yeah.
Papa was telling me how you in menus you can just use health packs and it doesn't cost actions.
Yeah.
Like,
Once per round, but still.
still
It,
broken.
y- yeah. It's the only way I could beat it on hard, to be fair, but
I've not done a hard playthrough in a long time. And I think I was just over, like, I don't even know what I did to get by on my hard playthrough, but it was not fun.
yeah. It's more about the story than
Hmm.
anything. Like the gameplay, if the ideal remake for me is like the story's almost unchanged, maybe there's a little bit more side content and the combat is fun. Like
Yeah.
that's all I can ask for, truly.
I was kind of thinking about how they're going to, with playing through it like twice so far at this point. It's very much, I think they're gonna have to completely retool like the drop system,
Yeah.
because it is an absolute mess how that, like, it's all, well, no, some of it's RNG, some of it's predetermined. It
Hmm.
doesn't make sense. Like, and
Yeah, I'd imagine they redo that whole system,
and
all the loot.
I'm wondering if there's gonna be like durability in some sense. I
I kind of
I
hope not.
I hope
I don't know about
well,
that.
my idea was like, God, items, I I feel like it would add an element to it, but if they do it poorly, it'll suck.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I mean, I liked it in Breath of the Wild, but
mhm.
I
That's
don't know.
a
It's probably not going to be like KOTOR ran on D&D 3.5e, basically
I th-
adapted heavily for video
was it
games, but
3.5? Yeah, okay.
pretty sure because Baldur's Gate was 2EA, to second edition advanced. So BioWare had like some kind of license or something with people behind D&D.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Gosh, I this just every time I have a conversation about KOTOR, it just reminds me of how much more like research I'm gonna have to do for a video. Like, I need to look in like to I need to know more about like its critical reception at launch. Like, it had to have been
hmm,
good in my opinion,
pretty
since
good, yeah.
they rushed KOTOR 2 out so quickly.
Within 2 years, I think it
It
was
it
way too
was
fast.
KOTOR 1 came out in 2003, KOTOR 2 came out in 2004. Like, it was a year. Oh, your audio cut.
Oh shit.
I don't know if you were covering it, but you're good now. I can hear you.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
weird. But yeah, they really rushed it out.
Yeah.
And I think it came out on Xbox first. I don't remember.
KOTOR
Uh,
did. Absolutely, yeah. It was a
yeah,
timed exclusive. And then it came out on PC later.
because I honestly completely forgot KOTOR 2 was even on PC. Um, but I do remember I found my old Xbox copy of KOTOR 2, and
Hell yeah.
it was very weird because I played the first game on PC in like 2005, I think.
Mm,
And then
same.
I remember I was in like a mall or something at a GameStop, and I just saw a box that said Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. I was like, I didn't know there was a second one. And I bought it, and it was one of the buggiest games I've ever
Yeah.
played. Absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Uh
Vanilla KOTOR 2 is almost unplayable.
oh yeah, it's people like get a like current age people who play KOTOR like on Steam and everything, or even on mobile, because mobile has, all the updates and everything now.
The
Uh
restored content mods on there, yeah.
yeah, like they'll say, "Oh, well, KOTOR 1 on PC has so many problems." Like,
Yeah,
if you don't mod it, like if you get it on Steam at
yeah,
least and don't mod
right.
it. I had to have Papa sent me like a Steam link, like a Steam community post that had like 30 mods or something that I added to my
Uh-huh.
game. Um
Same.
And it's been interesting because this, I think, is my first my light side playthrough was my first playthrough with the KOTOR 1 restored content mod.
Hmm.
So there's been a lot of just like little dialogues here and there that where like either I notice or like my Twitch chat notices, and it's like, that's new. Never seen that before.
Uh-huh. It's not quite as important as the KOTOR 2 restored content mod, but it's still interesting.
Mm-hmm. I yeah, KOTOR 2 had so much more cut out of it, like so much
Yeah.
more. I remembered you know what is it Yavin 4 where that seller is? Yeah. Someone in my
Yeah.
Twitch chat was like,
Suvan Tum.
yeah. Someone in my Twitch chat was like, I've never seen that. I was like, I think it was DLC.
It was one of the first DLCs ever.
Yeah. That
3,
was
I think.
insane to me. I was like, I completely forgot it was DLC, but then I kind of realized
Mhm.
I'm like, I definitely played through this game without ever seeing this guy.
Yeah.
Um
And he's got some cool stuff to sell. Baragwin shadow armor
oh,
and
his
exoskeleton.
end game, his items are the best. Like I was
Mantle
like,
of the Force and the Heart of the Guardian too. 2
yeah,
crystals.
I had both of those in my light side playthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I like dual wielded when I finished the game.
Right.
I my someone who's been in my Twitch chat for like all of my streams, his name's like Krusty Bagel or something, I think. He was like, "Hey, you really need to have Destroy Droid before you finish the game," and I couldn't remember why. And then I realized, oh shit,
Yep.
it's yeah,
That
Mal
section.
that section, which I it came to a point because Malik was kind of just whopping on me where I would just run away from him and just I had like 30 thermal detonators. I just
Yep.
fucking bombarded him. Uh gosh. It but I will something I really hope they do in the remake is they don't hard line you playing a Jedi or like Sith characters so hard
It
because
will, but
they will, but it's like, man, come on. I want to play like a little bit more. I keep wanting to use blasters on my main character, and I keep
yeah.
being reminded that it's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, blasters suck. They're awful.
Like
You
I
can get
did,
away with it,
you
but
can get away with it, but like in my last one, I had Canderous. Like I used Canderous the entire time, and I gave him. I bought like the best, like his best possible weapon, I think, and upgraded it,
yeah.
and it was fucking. It was disgusting. He did he his range was like 12 to 40, and then there was damage on top of that.
Yeah.
Because I really prepared for Malik. It's crazy to me how hard Malik is, even if you prep for him so much on normal.
Mhm.
Um,
They better
but
put Dance Dance Malik back in the game. You know about
oh
that?
yeah, that where you can beat the game where it's a dancing
Yeah.
Twi'lek.
You just
Yeah,
get to the Starforge and he just turns into a Twi'lek and starts dancing.
yeah. Someone in my chat was telling me about that. I was like, oh, good lord. That I've never seen that person. I feel like I heard of it. There's so many little things about KOTOR. It's like I've just heard of it in passing at some
Yeah.
point, and then I definitely need to see that at some point.
Star
Papa
Wars Legends.
Papa did like make me want to look into speedrunning it because I didn't
The
realize.
speedrun's wacky.
Yeah, you can beat the game in like 2 hours completely glitch free
Yeah.
just
There's
by.
a I saw a glitch at a marathon once where they'd like hide the spoiler, which is fucking awesome. Like Revan takes off the mask and there's just no one in it. He's just
Oh my
like, we're
goodness.
not gonna spoil the game for you. If you haven't played KOTOR, you should go do that.
They just wait. That was like from a glitch, or like they modded it like that.
A glitch. Like
Oh
it
yeah,
was a vanilla copy of KOTOR and he just glitched Revan's face out of existence.
go play the game. Don't get spoiled here,
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I oh, and then he was telling me how in the glitch route you can get your security so high you could just go right into the right. Wow, why can't I think of their names right now? What's the one swoop gang?
The
Not the Becks.
the Black Vulkars.
Yeah, Black Volkers. I could not think of Volker for some reason. You can because for whatever reason, when they coded it, instead of coding it to a value that was literally unattainable, they put it just as a really high value. And you can, if you use there's like a leveling glitch. It's like fake leveling, I think.
Yeah.
It will just, you can get your security so high that you can bypass impossible doors, and it causes like sequence breaks and everything.
Sick.
Yeah,
Sometimes I feel like they do that on purpose. Like they didn't set it to 9999. They just like kind of.
or like we'll set to like 80. No one's gonna get through this unless they really find a way.
But I like that they left a little back door.
Yeah, there's just like these little instances of like, okay, well, you can have some fun if you can figure it out.
If you shatter our game into tiny little pieces, I guess we'll let you.
Yeah. Do you something I'm like really interested about for the remake is, BioWare's not involved at all. Like
Right. Because
EA's
they're
not
dead.
involved at all.
One.
But yeah, BioWare's like only thing that they do is fucking the Old Republic, from what I could tell.
Yeah, they got let out of jail to make one Mass Effect, and they really fucked that one up. So.
Oh yeah, was that Andromeda?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not played Mass Effect in a while. I do have 1 and 2 on PC. Well, actually, I think I have 3 as well. I do. Someone, like, as I've been playing through KOTOR, and someone mentioned something, it was like, I gotta play through Dragon Age Origins again. Because my pathway of like, I played KOTOR 1 in like 2005-ish.
Right.
And then I think I played oh gosh, it couldn't have been much later. It must have been like 2007. Actually no, I think I played KOTOR in 2004, and then like 2006 I got Dragon Age Origins because I got like an old laptop from an uncle, and I played through, like, me and my brother played through that. Had no idea that it was the same developers and everything, and that was like, well, that and Mass Effect 1 were like the last iterations of that combat system.
Yeah.
Like, the most updated versions, at least. Because I think
back when there were still RPGs.
Yeah, back when there were still RPGs instead of Inquisition is more of an RPG than like Dragon Age 2 was. Dragon Age 2 is hot garbage, in my opinion.
Yeah, DA2 is one of the worst games that BioWare ever made.
I remember being so hyped for that, and then seeing. I swear there was promotional material saying the games literally play different on console and PC, but I have not been able to find anything about it. I thought there was some amount of difference, but like, it's more of an action game, and it just sucks.
It's just really bad, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the other kinds of sequels. There's like Empire Strikes Back, and then there's DA2.
Yeah. I remember getting to like the first city in DA2 and just being like, yeah, I'm done playing this game.
Yeah.
Because you start in the middle of like a fight or something, and that immediately soured my
fight.
Yeah, it soured my entire experience with the game, because I was like, this is not Dragon Age.
Yeah, they're like, look, we made the combat system bad. Aren't you excited?
Aren't you ready to play this for like 30 hours? Because we still made it as long as a Dragon Age game, but
Yeah. Oh, and at the end, they don't let you finish unless you've cleared your entire journal. In fact, I didn't know that until I saw a video on it the other day.
That is disturbing.
Yeah.
Man, it's like, it makes me glad BioWare is nowhere near this game. I'm
yeah,
but
they were great, but no more.
Yeah, they left a good base for Aspire to work from.
Yes,
and like, obviously, when you talk about BioWare, it's not like the same BioWare devs that worked on KOTOR 1 were the same devs that worked on the newer Mass Effects or Dragon Ages. But like, Aspire seems to have some of the original KOTOR devs, which is a very big positive for me.
Yes, absolutely. I was worried until you told me that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's definitely. I was talking with my chat about, because I think I mentioned they hired a new writer who was very open about the fact that she was writing on KOTOR, but she's also very social justice sort of person, has interesting views of certain things, and like, very publicly has said KOTOR was not her favorite BioWare game before.
Yeah. Also
Like,
publicly a Ray fan, which is really what gets to me.
yeah, publicly a Ray fan, which is also like a ooh.
Mm.
But supposedly some of the statements I saw were pulled very out of context, which it's like I'm giving it
Yeah.
the benefit of the doubt sort of thing.
Right.
It's just I don't the themes of KOTOR, like it really plays with a lot of things. Like there's some dark subjects in that game. There was something that was cut from the original KOTOR that I found in like the very end of KOTOR 1, which
In the RC, the restored content
in the
mod.
restored content, yeah, in the Sith temple on
Mhm.
below the Starforge, there is a like wound. There's like a
Yeah.
paralyzed Sith, and I
Her
was
back's
like,
broken or something.
yeah, and I'm like, can you just kill this crippled woman? That's kind of
Yep.
morbid. I didn't obviously do that,
Right.
but
The dark side options are like comically evil in KOTOR 1.
oh yeah, it's so weird what you can do at times.
Yeah,
Like,
just with like no benefit to yourself, just like murder people in cold blood.
yeah, so I will say, oh my god, some of the dialogue options are just so funny. During the Bastila conversations for her like side quest, uh I remember the line where Revan or where the main character says like just keep me in line, blink once for dark side, twice for
Yeah,
light or something. I'm like, holy
yeah.
fucking there's so much funny shit said in these games. Candace is also like Candace and HK47 have like some of the best quips like in the entire
Hmm.
game.
Oh, for
um
sure.
I took something I've never done before, which is where I don't take Zalbar to Kashyyyk on Kashyyyk. Um, Basil like will insist that you go and get Zalbar.
Yeah,
Like she like
which
oh it's like I was like no shut up I'm playing Darkseid anyways fuck you like because then Zalbar just gets forced into it anyways. Like he gets pulled out of your party if he's with
yeah,
you too. So it's like why even bother? Well, I'd assume the setup is Zalbar gets pulled out of your party. You go down to the ground floor in the Shadowlands, and you get Jolie. It's very obvious. There's so many like little things that are just very obvious setups.
hmm
Um,
you can
but
see through the curtain at times.
yeah,
But we've been playing the game since 04, 05, so
yeah. I mean, when you've played the game through so many times, it's like it was very interesting to find as many things that I didn't know about.
yeah.
Um, and I don't know. It's I something I'm really hopeful that they like when it comes to voice actors. I don't know who voiced Jolie. I'm hoping they get the same voice actor.
They're anyone that they can get, they're reprising their roles. Like Candace's voice actor died, Brooke's voice actor died.
Oh God.
I think he's the same guy voiced Vandar, but there's a couple people that are unfortunately no longer with us. But obviously Bastil is back. We heard her in the trailer. I
Hmm.
think Karth is back. Pretty sure HK is back, but I don't really know anyone other than Bastila.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, we're not gonna get any more information. I think until like middle of next year. Like
At the earliest, yeah,
at
maybe
the
even later than that.
yeah, that was I was someone in my chat said something like I kind of the most hopeful idea is like holiday 2022 for a release. I was like that's like hopeful for information, I think. Because
Yeah,
the way Aspire made it sound, it's like because if they're trying to do it on the same level when it comes to like how extreme and how in depth the games were created in 2003, but putting that into our standards now. Oh, my headphones
mm.
unplugged. They are going to be working on this for like 3 years, I think,
Years and years. Yeah,
because
they have a budget of 100 million. So
oh, really?
yeah.
That's nuts.
Hmm.
Because they have to redo all the cutscenes, like all the because that's one thing I do really like about the Old Republic is how well so many of their like full fledged like animated stuff is.
The CGI stuff is like
Yeah, the
better than the
CGI stuff.
prequels.
Yeah, it's
It's crazy.
insane. Like, and they're gonna have to do a lot of that for like the space fights and the flying around. Like, if they're going to keep it on the same fidelity, obviously just brought to current times, it's like, and a lot of these planets are going to need. The workload for that game is like terrifying
Yeah,
because
there's a ton.
when you look, especially if they wanted to add anything, especially like you just look at a planet like Manan, I feel like it's
Mhm.
going to be very hard to kind of
It's gonna be
replicate
wild.
because that planet's huge. You get lost in it so easy. That's something I hope they fix. I got lost on that planet.
There's like east, central, west, central, and west,
Yeah,
and that's just Auto City, and then it
yeah,
goes down into the ocean itself. So
yeah, and you can only go in from like you don't even enter in like at central, and the path is just all
yeah,
fucking weird.
there's like the docks. Yeah, I forgot even about that. And then there's those 5 areas I mentioned are after you get off your ship and
Mhm.
come into Auto City.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
gonna
I
be
mean,
crazy.
and I'm obviously like the amount of work that's going to have to go into like voice acting since like it's crazy how many characters in those like BioWare RPGs really set a standard when it came to like voice acting in games
Hmm.
because the amount of dialogue that they like need people, people in the booths talking and the quality
Yeah.
level of there was like I think I pointed out like two characters almost in the entire game that I was like that was kind of bad, like voice acting wise. But other than
Uh-huh.
that, it's like pretty
It's
good.
all good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they I don't even want to call it a cut corner, but the aliens speak in their like pre-canned like
Hmm.
achutas and their moon papisas and all that gibberish shit. But all the humans, like, it's not like something like Oblivion where like the same 6 people voice like 800 different characters. Like they have unique voice actors for like a lot of characters,
Yeah.
and
It
the remake's gonna be even more in that realm. I imagine like every Sith trooper having a different voice actor or something crazy.
I wouldn't doubt that because with the way voice acting's progressed, like you can that sort of workload is a bit more manageable because people can do so much from home now, and like
Yeah, true.
you can sell like obviously there's got to be some amount of secrecy. So for like the bigger roles, like it's gonna be a little probably like bring people in, but like just these random people talking on the street or something, or just random conversations, just send it off to some Joe Schmo who's like has
Uh,
like at least a decent voice acting record. Um, and that reminded me when I was doing I did Bastion missions side bits and I ended up on Dantooine to get their hangar interactions to like progress their stories.
yeah,
Uh
because you have to do that to
yeah,
progress the side quests for some reason.
it's so and like Jolie's like one of the only ones that progresses almost automatically because
Just through dialogue, yeah.
yeah, it took a lot less for me. Like I got Jolie's on accident in my light side
Yeah.
playthrough where I had to do a lot to get missions and Bastilas. Um
Yeah, and Juhani's just breaks sometimes, like I mentioned.
I killed Juhani this last playthrough.
Wow.
I kept her for my light side one.
Okay,
Uh
yeah.
but this one I was like I'm bad and then I just killed her.
Evil.
And
The
I
first time I played, I actually didn't know you could save her. I was just like, ooh, a Sith.
yeah,
Kill.
kill. Yeah, because you're like I am 10 years old.
Yeah.
Not even like
I'm Defender of Republic.
I'm like 8 or 9 years old. This is
Yeah,
a
I think I
video
was like
game.
7 or 8.
It's definitely like I remember playing through the game like a second time when I was just like a little bit older than the first time I played through it and being like, wow, this game talks about a lot of like stuff I don't normally hear about. Like, because
Hmm.
I remember getting somewhat through Bastila's like dialogue stuff on accident when I was younger and her talking about her parents and her bad relationship with her mother. And I'm like,
Yeah, like, damn.
oh, geez, this is.
And you're used to video game dialogue like in Mario, like I'm a chuckster.
Wahoo,
That's about it. Yeah.
But oh, what I was saying was the character model for the character that runs up to you for both Bastila and missions, like they're the same Twi'lek. It was very
Yeah.
funny, and
Yeah.
but one speaks Twi'lek and one speaks Basic.
That's funny.
So it was very weird. Uh, I don't know if it might change based on planet in some way. I don't think so.
Maybe it's probably just them trying to convince you it's a different character model.
Yeah, it was very. I was just like, are you? I want to see if that's true. I know, like, I think Jolie's character model, the character model for his like person that runs up. I think that's I hadn't seen that one anywhere else. For the one
His
who like,
messenger.
yeah, the one who tells you about the
Mhm.
court case on Manon. That I had
Yeah, I
actually.
think she's only on Manon, I'm pretty sure, right? Or is that
Well, so like
someone tells you about it? I didn't
someone
realize.
someone will tell you about it. If like I was on Korriban and
Oh, okay.
someone came up and I was like, what is this random guy doing on Korriban? Who would just be, lounging about on Korriban if you're not evil?
Uh-huh. Have you opened the secret box
The
that
secret
you get on
box.
Korriban?
I don't think I have.
Oh, you don't know about that?
I don't think I
Oh.
do. I have to go to Korriban still because I did like first or second on my last playthrough, which
Hmm.
it's
Well,
like,
talk to the guy outside the cantina,
okay,
and
I will
then
do
don't
that.
listen to him. Open
And
his secret box.
now I'm like remembering something about. I don't know what's in it, but I'll definitely have to. I'll definitely do that.
Mhm. I was like a goody two shoes. I never did anything anybody told me not to do.
That's exactly how I used like it is so hard to be evil sometimes.
Oh yeah, especially in KOTOR 1 because it's like
Pretty fucking brutal when you're evil.
just flagrantly evil. Yeah, in KOTOR
Yeah.
2, it's like the evil options are just like selfish but understandable
There's a little
most
more
of the time.
like KOTOR 1 I think gives it does an amazing job doing a very overall setup for a deconstruction of the Star Wars ideology that happens in
Mhm.
KOTOR 2 cuz
Right.
uh I've been watching a lot of like commentary videos about it, but KOTOR 1 very much follows like the hero's journey like beat for beat.
Yeah.
And KOTOR 2 is like a kind of deconstruction of Star Wars as a whole approach to the hero's journey philosophy when it involves the force and everything.
Yeah.
And that's just such a can of worms. Like
For sure. That they did not have enough time to open over at Obsidian.
yeah, Obsidian was like, "Oh no, there's too many worms. We're just going to
We
send
have a
them
month left,
we have a month
and
left.
there's so many worms.
Go into the dark depths of space." And then BioWare's going to abuse this in 10 years
Uh-huh.
or 8
But,
years.
something interesting about KOTOR 1 that I've been thinking. I always thought about Malachor 5 from KOTOR 2, the planet that gets destroyed by the mass shadow generator. I
Mhm.
always compared it to the original trilogy because I was like, oh, when Alderaan gets blown up, only Obi-Wan feels anything and Luke doesn't even acknowledge it. But in KOTOR 1, Terrace gets fucking glassed and no one really even bats an eye other than Mission.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like when you play through the Old Republic, they explained billions died.
yeah.
Like that Taurus is a huge planet.
Mhm.
It
It's a fucking crater now.
and it's a crater and it over 300 years have passed like in the Star Wars like in that if we're going based on like old timelines 300 years
Mhm.
passed and like they still have not recovered Taurus like
Mhm.
and it hasn't
They
been
probably never will.
yeah it probably won't ever happen because there's so much and it I something I really like about the Old Republic is how they do rat ghouls
Mm.
like how they approach how they would have changed even though 300 years isn't long enough for major mutations to happen and they kind of made it seem like it was
Yeah.
but of course it's Star Wars there's
Right. It's
space magic
right.
uh and then someone in my Twitch chat I was talking about how I was like is there like force uh like force whales in the galaxy like just flowing through space or something. And there is.
Yeah.
I was thinking about because I was thinking about Monstro from Kingdom Hearts because he just fucking flies through space. Like that'd be a cool concept. And someone in my chat's like, yeah, that exists. It's in Star Wars Rebels. You need to finish watching Star Wars Rebels. I'm like, yeah, I do.
You could even count the thing that they land in Empire, the giant asteroid worm.
Oh yeah. I gotta there's just so much about Star Wars. It's like I
Mhm.
definitely was like when I started this time off from work to like play through KOTOR to do the video, I was definitely like, yeah, I'll just play through KOTOR once and then I'll be good to make a video. And now I'm like just looking at Star Wars as a whole and I'm like, there's too much shit. There's too much going
It's a
on. There's
very
so
deep rabbit hole,
much.
yeah.
Yeah, like there's so many people who have had their hands in the basket and
Yeah.
they've made great things. There's a lot of great things in like the Star Wars continuity and but it's so much and it's hard to
Yeah,
process.
for sure. And even to tell what's canon and what's not.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see because Old Republic not canon, KOTOR's technically not canon. Like, well,
Yeah, what
no,
are they? I
it's
don't know. I don't
currently not
know.
canon.
Like,
It's very weird how they're going
it's
to.
weird, yeah.
I wouldn't
We'll
doubt it
see.
if in the next 5-10 years we get a different Star Wars MMO set in like a different time period.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully nothing to do with KOTOR. Uh,
Hopefully.
yeah,
But they'll milk
because
that for all it's worth.
I'm assuming the major like I'm really hoping Lucas Games and Disney to some extent, but Aspire. I feel like Aspire is filled with people who very much appreciate the old games, like with how much
Yeah.
care they've put into porting the first game to mobile and porting two to mobile, re-releasing it on PC, all the mod support and like when
Mhm.
KOTOR 2 was announced to have mod support, that was one of the craziest things I had ever seen because it was like, who just adds mod support to a game that was released in 2004?
Mm. Like
But
people who know that you kind of need the mods for KOTOR 2 to be playable.
mhm.
It goes from like a 6 out of 10 unfinished disaster to like a solid 10 out of 10 game for me.
Yeah, and like uh the and I think KOTOR 2's like improvements on the battle system and like just inventory and
Yeah,
items
the
and everything.
animations alone.
Yeah, like everything, the fluidity is like way more fluidity compared to the first game.
Yeah,
That and
it
like
feels so much less clunky.
I was fighting, I was playing the first game and I kept getting the bug where at the end of combat you would freeze.
Mm.
And that's connected to your refresh rate normally. My refresh rate matched my game's FPS and like everything, and the refresh like there's a refresh rate setting in the game.
Mm.
It turned out that you have to have VSync on, or just fucking
And
breaks.
sometimes you have to have it off.
Yeah, or so.
There's some bugs where you have to have it off, and some where you have to have it on. And
I had an interesting bug happen when I went to because I just finished Manon. I went,
mm.
down to the underwater facility, and all of my dialogue was bugged. It was auto playing
Mm.
until I got to the next part where like the scientists were.
Weird.
Yeah, just very little inconsistencies.
Hmm.
Oh, man, I keep having good ideas about like things I want to talk about when it comes to the remake when I'm like streaming, and I need to just have like a notepad or something so I can write them down because I swear I've forgotten a bunch of them, but because there's just so much to adapting a game like that to a current day system,
uh,
especially because it's going to be on console first. I don't think
yeah,
that's
that's fucking weird, man.
I like
I'm actually pretty upset about that. Like, I don't understand why they're doing that.
I mean, it was technically an Xbox timed exclusive as well when it
Yeah,
first
but
came out, but
like,
it gained its life on
Jesus.
PC. Like KOTOR 1
Yeah,
and 2,
PC is the definitive edition of the game, and it's going to be the definitive edition of the remake too.
yeah. I'm just glad it's a timed exclusive.
Yeah,
Uh
I mean, it could be worse. It's just
PS
annoying.
PS5 when it comes to like controller variety is actually surprisingly good from what I understand, and like the controller just can do a lot. So I don't think it will limit too much about the game's like design philosophy, and I don't think Aspire would let it limit it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think
Because
they're developing it as they would have, and the PS5 thing's just a side effect of Sony getting their claws on it somewhere.
Yeah, it was probably like, hey, like you guys can do the remake, but like Sony's paying us a fucking bag to time
Yeah,
exclusive it. So,
right.
I mean, that's what Sony does. They just pay.
Yeah, right.
They'll pay so much money for a time exclusive.
Right.
Um,
But from a marketing perspective, to me, that's like kind of pathetic. Like, Jesus, your two killer apps are Demon Souls from 2009 and a KOTOR remake, which came out in '03. Like, you guys have no original games at
that
all.
I mean, that is current day video games, isn't it? Just
Yeah, fair enough, actually, I guess. No one makes new games anymore.
yeah, no one makes new games. They just improve. They try to improve. I will say the Demon Souls remake, great. I've never played Demon Souls before
Yeah,
this, but
sure.
I love it. Uh, and it's I need them to not. I'm just hoping for the developers to not pussyfoot it in a sense of, you know, really toning back things that were in this. Like there was very much, racism in the game. Like
Oh, totally.
alien racism. That's going to be a thing that happens. I mean, it's an ancient society compared to what current day like Star Wars is. So there's going to be some differences in ideology.
And I think frankly, I think it's more offensive if they retooled Terrace to be like this welcoming and inclusive place. It's like, being exposed to the anti-Ithorian racism, and like even the children are bullying this guy, and there's this
Yeah.
crazy old white dude on the corner. Like, that's all important to show like the darker underbellies of societies.
Oh, for
And by
sure.
removing that, you're not like improving a society, you're just cutting out like a valuable lesson that
Yeah.
can be learned from this
I mean,
from this video game.
because people for some reason, even when games do it very well, like KOTOR does, where this stuff happens, and like Karth will immediately be like, "This guy is just a piece of shit." Like,
Yeah,
and none of
crazy
the
old kook.
nobody on like your no one on that you play as, like none of the characters have racist tendencies. Like
Hmm.
that was I think that was a well, like the character, like even the Mandalorian isn't racist. Like he'll call people by their race or something, but he's not as outwardly like just against other races, because Mandalorians
Yeah,
aren't like that anyways.
right. They just want honorable battles.
Yeah, they just want honorable battles. I love the Mandalorian concept.
Hmm.
Um, and I
Yeah, they're
think
sick.
they are sick. And Candrass like is such an interesting. I want to do his. I said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to do his side quest. I think because I've never done his. I've done
Oh, really? Yeah, that one's sick. I love it.
I've done carts. I've done Bastilas. I've done missions. I've done Joe. Like I don't think Jolie's is much more than like you get the thing on Manon. Like they'll tell you that it's happening on Manon.
Hmm.
You can do it either way.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't think you need the messenger for Jolie's.
you don't, because
Mm.
you could do that whole case before you even get Jolie.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's
But I mean, his stuff is mostly just interesting perspective on the Force and the Jedi Code and everything.
yeah.
Um,
Before KOTOR 2 did it.
yeah, it.
Pretty cool.
I love how well KOTOR 1 starts to give you the inkling of like
Yeah, the gears are turning.
the gears are turning. It's like, oh, the Jedi won, blah blah blah. But it's like the entire game, like you are like Basila is realizing, yay, the Jedi Code isn't as perfect as we like to think it is, and
Yeah,
obviously,
and the Jedi Council are a bunch of lying manipulators.
yeah, it's like you can't. I After you play the game through more than twice, it's like, wow, the Jedi kind of just do what the Sith do, but less outwardly facing.
Yep.
Obviously, less murder,
Look,
but more
yeah,
manipulation.
more child kidnapping too.
Yeah, that's something I'll never like, because people with very surface level ideas of like Star Wars are always like, yeah, Jedi are obviously the better. It's like it's still very cultish,
Better, but
still problematic.
mm, Mm, definitely not perfect.
Yeah, there it. That's the whole point of KOTOR 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's, and then and then you just notice in all the media after KOTOR 2, it's like you see the Jedi actually. It does seem like in the Old Republic, the Jedi have somewhat changed. Like they're a bit more like reactive. They're less like we're just gonna fucking do nothing.
Yeah.
But that's
We're
also
just gonna
because
sit
it's
on
an
our hands.
MMO.
Yeah, true.
I like
Yeah.
I hate the fact that you kind of have to rationalize with outside factors in some sense when it comes to some of the storytelling because it's like the different mechanisms of the different games will breed different ways the story is going to
Definitely.
be written.
Yeah.
Um, have you played Fallen Order by chance?
I installed it, but I have not played it yet.
I, I it's not like a super deep Star Wars story, but it definitely I think it's a very interesting one.
Mm.
Um, and it did exceptionally well. Like there are like Respawn who made Titanfall. I was so surprised that they could go from
Uh,
making like a very good first person shooter
yeah,
franchise to then making a Star Wars Dark Souls-ish game.
yeah, that's what? I didn't realize it was them.
Yeah, it's Respawn. I was like, holy shit.
Mm.
And they got like as soon as it like was received well and everything, even though it was a little buggy, um, they were like greenlit immediately for like a second game. I think they've already,
Huh.
and it's interesting because all the characters in that game were done mocap and designed based on the actors that played them.
Mm.
So there's a very good chance they could show up in like live action stuff, which I would find very interesting because I really like
Yeah.
the main
Mm.
character in Fallen Order. It was. Have you ever? I doubt you've watched Gotham. If you've heard of
No,
it, oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
I can't remember what the actor's name is, but he plays the Joker in the Gotham TV series, and he's just a very good
Mm.
actor in general. But I don't know. I feel like the next few years, when it comes to Star Wars media outside of the movies, it's gonna be amazing. Well, because I mean, the movies are over until they decide to make
Thank
three
God, yeah.
more.
Which they are at some point.
But
God forbid.
obviously, they're dumping a lot of money into Star Wars properties that live
Hmm.
action. They had the Bad Batch come out, which I've heard mixed things about. Um, I'm just very excited to see where because I really think they're trying to expand the universe in a sense since they're remaking KOTOR. They're trying to fill in all these gaps. The Mandalorian did really well. They had this Bad Batch show. They did another season of the Clone Wars. Like,
Hmm.
uh, I really want to see them do more stuff with like Star Wars Rebels. Um, I don't know. I'm just excited to see Revan in like full HD and just see all these characters like really proper because the rigidness of KOTOR 1 is really obvious and very just like, this feels weird.
Yeah, it's very stuck in its time. Like it aged better than a lot of games from that time, but it's still very much from 2003.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's because another depth that they're gonna have to add is like I'm assuming they're gonna at least try to mocap a lot of it. Like when it comes to
Here's it.
when it comes to conversations, because
Hmm.
that leads to like another whole lot of dev time. And even though realistically that like as long as they make the models and everything, they could just slap it on the mocap. It's just I'm interested to see how they do that because in the they could show some amount of emotion on the characters in the originals, but there was definitely they didn't have the technology.
Yeah.
Now they do, to the point where it's like you can have some pretty crazy facial like emotional things shown.
Hmm.
I just hope it's like they don't overbearingly do it to where then
Which they might.
yeah, which they might because it's like that's kind of why I was thinking about Fallen Order was because there's like all basically all the cutscene bits where people are talking. I'm pretty sure it's all mocap.
Hmm.
And that's how a lot of like AAA games are nowadays that have any amount of story semblance. Like that's how all the Last of Us games were. That's how like I think the Detroit Become Human games were. Which I heard the studio behind Detroit Become Human is making a Star Wars game,
Hmm.
supposedly, which I think would be interesting because those games are very much decision based and your decisions matter and they affect like the whole
Hmm.
continuum of the
Yeah.
story.
David Cage really likes making movies, so
Who's that?
it would
Is that?
fit. That's the guy who makes Detroit
Oh, okay.
or Become Human and Heavy Rain and all the other
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Beyond Two Souls, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's him. David Cage.
David Cage.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think that would fit.
I think it
But
would fit as long as they have. It's going to be interesting to see if they try to do it with characters we already know, or if it's going to be a whole new thing. I'd assume it'd be, they have thousands upon thousands of years to play with. Like they'll probably set it in some time period where they can kind of just let it exist.
yeah, which is what they did with KOTOR.
Yeah,
Just pick thousands of years ago and write whatever.
yeah, and I mean they're like obviously they want KOTOR in the canon because well, at least it seems like they want it in the canon in some way. Because for one
Yeah,
thing, there's a lot of fans of KOTOR. There's a lot of like big name
yeah.
fans of KOTOR. Um, and in the was it the latest movie or the movie before it? There was like a whole battalion that was named after Revan, and they like explained that Revan
Mm.
existed and everything.
Somewhere in recent canon. I think it was in Rebels or something.
Yeah, I just know there was some sort of something was named after Revan, and then there was a
Yeah.
specific planet that only showed up in the KOTOR games that was in one
Mm.
of the newer Star Wars movies.
Mm.
Yeah, there's
Underground, maybe? I don't remember.
yeah, I don't know. It may have been under. I remember seeing it. It had to have been not the newest one, like first or the second one in the newest trilogy.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think there's just so many factors going into a game like this that I just don't. It's so hard to say anything, especially with how little we're working with.
Yeah, we don't know much. We know that it's a remake and not a remaster or a reboot. If it was a reboot, they would have just called it Knights of the Old Republic and left it at that, like they do with Doom and Smash and
Yeah.
all the other games that have the same goddamn title as the originals.
Hmm.
But that it's a remake is like promising to me because it's like that means to me we're remaking KOTOR from the ground up. It's going to have new systems but the same story basically, maybe some extra bits, but like totally new combat, completely redesigned like character models, like planet locales, side quests maybe. Um I really hope they keep like RPG elements because I'm tired of games just like not having any
Like completely
despite claiming
washing
to be
that
an RPG.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, like Mass Effect Andromeda was just a shitty third person shooter.
Hmm.
So I really don't want that to happen, obviously.
Yeah,
Who
because
knows? We don't know
it's
yet.
because remakes have to play that fun towing of the line of introducing new systems
Yeah,
without introducing a system that completely does not play well with having this older like other system. Because
right.
you have to like if you want to do I feel like porting stuff like computer use, security, and everything, that's going to be very easy because it is
Hmm.
very much not combat oriented. But then there comes the fact that you're going to have stats and everything that'll affect like because it's weird because you're going to have they might have to cut back. There's so many force powers in the game, and that it could do that because it uses a D&D based system.
Yeah, where
Whereas
you
if
queue up actions.
yeah, there's a queue of actions instead of just rapid actions.
Hmm.
Which it's like, and if you all modern games that use a even slightly queue-ish system are like MMOs.
Yeah.
So it's
They
you
could do
got
it Mass Effecty, where you have like a hot bar,
hmm
like 1 to 9 of a bunch of different powers. You can pause at any time.
Yeah, I feel like
Maybe.
the Mass Effect like combat system is like a pretty good evolution of the BioWare's like original system.
Mhm.
It was at least the most the least bastardized version of it when they're comparing that
Right.
to like Dragon Age 2. Because Inquisition like completely changed everything again. It's like more similar to Mass Effect, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's because you just gotta leave. What's so fun about KOTOR is the many different ways you can kind of do things, and if you take that away, it just becomes another action game, sort of.
Exactly.
So
I
you
just
got,
don't want it to be another goddamn Dark Souls ripoff. That's all.
yeah. I don't. Oh god, if the system's got that change where you're like,
Have a
don't,
dodge roll.
yeah, have a dodge roll or anything like that. Like, just let me like, even if it's like not necessarily Q actions, like. Because I feel like you could speed up KOTOR, but keep some amount of like that queuing options.
Uh-huh.
Like
Or just
it's
like more tactical options where you like can position individuals
yeah,
like at the same time.
I want mines to be more useful as like a concept in the games, especially
Yeah.
in one. They're a little more useful in two,
Yeah, I
but
like never put mines down.
yeah, I just sell them. Like I have
Hmm.
amazing demolitions. Uh, I think
Because what else are you gonna
demolitions,
put points into?
yeah, because demolitions somewhat affects like grenades. I think.
Yeah, I think so
I think
too,
it
but I'm not
affects
sure.
like I think it affects like your like hit DC or something. I don't know. But when it comes to fucking mines, it's like, yeah, I'll pick these up and use them never.
Yeah.
I had a really interesting thing happen when I was on Tatooine. I was doing the Basila side quest. I had to go back to the lair, the dragon's lair,
Hmm.
to get the holocron. So I walk in there. I'm playing as Basila because Basila is force speed. So I can go quick. Run in there. I grab it. I turn around and Darth Bandon is there. I was like, oh shit, I forgot he's coming. Uh,
That's Brandon.
yeah. Oh my god. I he's such an edgy fucking like cringe lord.
Yeah, they should change the hell out of his character, I'll tell you that.
Well,
He's very boring.
yeah, give some more depth to like Malik's lackeys. I feel like
Yeah.
Like that is one thing. Like Malik is not given a whole lot of like exposition. Obviously,
Hmm.
it's because and like we don't even get very much information in KOTOR 2. All the information about Malik and Revan and everything and what happened to them in a sense comes from after KOTOR 2
Hmm.
and in that old Republic book about Revan. Uh which
Which, you know.
yeah.
Or the cave in KOTOR 2 has a bit of it too. We see like Malik and Revan recruiting people.
Mhm. And like it's they give like a more it's just so but yeah, Bandon is just all of the people that follow Malik. I was like, oh, they're just all coneheads. They all have like their shaved head like Malik. Like they're all just
Uh,
fucking dweebs. They Bandon
yeah.
walks into a room like with his shoulders like flared back. Like I mean, obviously doesn't do that with his model, but like that's how I picture Darth Bandon.
Hmm. He's
It's
an asshole. He just throws
yeah.
a random soldier that did nothing into a computer and kills two
Because
people.
yeah,
That's his intro.
he walked in front of him 5 feet away, and then he killed him and two other people and two
Yeah.
droids and did like thousands of credits and damage. Like
Just for no reason.
just for no reason. Like he was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you disrespected me," and Malik's like, "Good, dark side." Ugh.
Yeah, so anyone listening, don't get the impression that we're just like, don't change anything about KOTOR. Because there's some problems. The dark side guys are just fucking Saturday morning cartoon villains is like the most common criticism I've seen, and I kind of agree sometimes. Not Malik, I don't think Malik needs to be cuddly, and you need to know everything about his backstory and all that. But Bandon's fucking lame, and I would love
Yeah,
to see him get some depth.
Bandon is really fucking lame. He was like, I'm gonna kill you." He said like his line when he like confronts you is something like, "I'm gonna try to kill you as fast as possible and cause you the most pain." I'm like, shut up. But
Yeah.
so when I was in that cave, Basila and HK-47 were in the cave, and I just look out past Darth Bandon, and I just see my player character running towards me, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Because he got caught on something on the
Right.
way over. I'm
Right.
like,
That happens.
can I start this combat and he'll just be over there? And now it teleports you. I was like, oh, that sucks. That because
Ah, damn it.
it would have been
That would have
tactical
been
genius,
hilarious.
yeah. But it was just so
Just run in
funny.
from behind him.
Just turn around, and I'm
Uh,
like, who the fuck is that running? Oh, it
uh,
was that
yeah.
the little. I will say the little quirks of the game make me laugh. Like at
Mm.
times where it's just, oh god. The thing about the Shadowlands though, make those fucking monkeys shut up. Yeah. I was
It's
so
every 2 seconds.
on my dark side playthrough. I did the Assassin's League quest or something. Well, I did on my light side one too, just to do it. But you know,
The
you
Geno
fight.
Harridan.
Yeah, Jenna. I can never remember that fucking name.
I don't know if it's Geno or Geno.
I
I
think
said
it.
Geno
Yeah,
Harridan.
yeah, close enough.
It's
I
genocide.
I mean, no one ever says the name in
Yeah.
basic, so we never get a
Never hear
pronunciation.
it. Mhm.
But you fight the shapeshifter, and he turns into a monkey, and I'm like, oh, I'm dark side this playthrough. I'm just gonna go massacre a bunch of monkeys. You
Mhm.
can only kill monkeys in a certain spot. I realized. I thought you could just go up to any monkey, and I
Just
guessed the
blow him
right
up.
one on the first try, and I was pissed.
Damn it.
Even though I think the Zerka guys with like the equipment, they will give you a
Mm.
quest to kill some monkeys. I think I just massacred them though. I force persuaded
Yeah.
one to run away, and then I killed the rest.
I fuck Zerka up at every opportunity
Yeah, I I'm
in both
very
games.
I'm gonna be very sad this time because I'm doing like every basically dark side option I can. I'm siding with Zerka on Kashyyyk. Yeah,
I've never ever even considered that.
I have never done it before. I've never
Yeah.
like until I killed Juhani this
Slavery.
time. I had never killed Juhani before, like on purpose.
Mm.
Because I think I've always like save scummed that if I fuck it up somehow. Um,
Uh-huh.
but
I just dump every point into persuade.
oh yeah, well I was playing like scoundrel, so that was a cross class
Uh,
skill.
oh.
Yeah, but I on my last playthrough I had a like max like basically as high as persuade as I could, and I had force. I had the next thing past force persuade, which was like dominate mind.
Don't mind.
Yeah. But I didn't know. So after if you kill Juhani, you get there's a Padawan that talks to you in the
Leia.
Jedi. Is her name Leia?
But Leia.
Oh, Leia.
The one in the circle, right? When you walk in?
Yeah, and she's like,
Yeah.
you didn't even try to say. I was like, and I was being a. I try not to be too much of a dick in dialogue when it doesn't matter because I just don't feel like
Uh-huh.
it. But
Just
like,
don't want to be a huge asshole.
I think to her, I was just like, fuck off. But
On my recent playthrough, I did something I'd never done before because I was always a goody two shoes. But on Tatooine with Tanis, the guy whose wife tries to murder him,
yeah,
I had always saved him before, but this time I had Bastila with me, and even she was like, "I say leave him," and I was like, "You know what? Yeah, fuck this guy." I was like, "I'm gonna leave you here because it would be better for the environment,"
yeah, he's
and then he
fucking.
killed himself.
He's just running around with droids. I
Yeah.
saved him, got all of his credits, and I was like, I bet he's shorting me right now. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill him. So I killed
Hell
him,
yeah.
and he gave me all of his credits.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh well, shit. I was
Oh
like,
well.
I got some. I'll take your shit and sell it to somebody.
Uh-huh.
And
Don't mind
then
the bloodstains.
yeah, don't mind the bloodstains. I then attempted to the lady sells you the hunting piece.
The raid
Yeah,
skull plate.
yeah, this raid skull plate. I don't have a good enough persuade to like undercut her. Like I was gonna undercut her this time because last time I just took it and sold it. Like I was like, yeah, I'll give you 500 because it's worth
I
500.
always give her 700.
I didn't have. I had like no credits on my light side playthrough.
Oh, I cheat every time.
Oh, do you? Do you do the item
Yeah.
dupe?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I open the console. I'm like,
Oh,
player.add credits,
and you're just like, I'm fucking
20
rich,
million.
bitch.
I came from a noble family.
I I just I when I started last like this time I did Tatooine to Manon, so I just went and won all the swoop races
Mhm.
and just got like and I since I was evil this time as well, you come off Taurus with so much money if you're evil. So much
Uh-huh.
money. It is
You'd like
crazy.
side with the Vulkars?
I sided with the Volkers. I sold the serum to Davik. I did
Mhm.
everything evil. I killed the one lady who hit the gang member with a vibroblade.
Oh,
Uh,
Dia.
yeah, Dia. I knew it. I was like, is it? I was like Dia, Tia, or something. And then, yeah, Dia. She was not happy. Neither was Karth.
Yeah, Karth is like, what the hell are you doing? We can't just murder random people. And then 2 seconds later, he's like, down you go.
Oh my god. I
Shoots them to death.
when I started playing this and the first time Karth goes, he goes like, let's go. I immediately think of the baby thing. Or yeah, where he goes, it's let's go. And I'm like, Karth, never say let's go again. Never. I
I don't
cannot
want to talk
picture
about it.
I cannot think of the baby Karth.
Karth is a baby.
He is a little bit of a bitch sometimes.
I used to hate Karth. I used to never take Karth anywhere or talk to him at all.
Yeah. Well, because he's
Now I'm like,
such
yeah, whatever.
well, he's like understandably like has fucking PTSD. Like
Yeah, because his home planet got blown the fuck up.
his home planet and wife were murdered by his former
Yeah.
commanding officer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh and he just had to
I didn't
basically
get that at
watch
the
it
time.
happen. Yeah, it's like you're just like man being mean to me as I play funny space pirates game or
Yeah.
space cowboys game. Oh god, I definitely I kind of agree that when I was younger, I did not care for Karth.
Yeah.
I always use like, and especially as a kid, I just always played with Jedi characters, just all
Right.
Jedi, because it's just so
You said
busted.
right. Right.
Especially like Jolie, who's just like, I get like every force power if you level me up, like
Mhm.
every single fucking one. He gets 2 force powers like every few levels. Like
Yeah,
it's
consulars are insane. You know, in vanilla KOTOR 1, consulars are actually have the sentinel skill set. Like they mix them up.
oh really?
Like yeah, like sentinels. The sentinel class identity is like we're kind of okay at combat and kind of okay at force powers, but we're mostly really good at skills.
Mm-hmm.
But in KOTOR 1, like sentinels just have almost no class skills, and consulars have like all of them.
It's yeah
Really wacky.
the way that they like did that's actually I hope there's more variety of like Jedi classes in
Yeah, me
the
too.
remake because it does feel very constricted.
Yeah, they really like didn't care that much. It seemed like to not even realize like, oh, the class based, like the skill based class doesn't have any skills. Like,
Did no one
no
check
one
this?
fucking
Yeah,
did no one play Sentinel even? Because I don't know anyone who's ever done a Sentinel playthrough myself. I always do
Sentinel
Guardian for the most part.
because Sentinel's like the third one, right?
It's the yellows
Oh,
and
I think I played Sentinel.
oh, well there you go. I have one person.
Yeah,
But I've
yeah.
done one consular playthrough, and the rest of them have just been Guardian because I love Force Jump.
I didn't realize that the Sentinel thing was broken though, because
Yeah,
I
they're just useless.
yeah, that's kind of
Oh,
fucked
they
up.
still have lightsabers, I guess, but
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm like, I feel like I have fucking nothing. Like, obviously, I had a high charisma, and there's an item you get on Corbin which gives you like +4 will. It's like a headpiece.
mm,
It's fucking busted.
mhm.
And so I had like crazy DCs for all of my force skills. There was a point because I got force wave. I could go into almost any combat and just force wave and kill everything.
Yeah, Force Storm's my go-to.
I'm
Just
doing I'm doing force storm on my evil character, and since I'm such a
mm,
dark side character, like it costs like nothing.
right.
Uh, a lot of the games, I feel like I just really towed the line. Like I just stayed in the middle.
Yeah,
But
KOTOR 2, that's the way to do it in my opinion.
yeah, but in
That's the
KOTOR
cool way
1,
to play.
they really
You can't
want
really.
you to, yeah, they want you to go either
Yeah.
way because so many items are dependent on if you're evil or not, or good or not.
Yep.
Like
Right.
there's a really good set of Jedi robes that you use in KOTOR 1 that you have to be light side for, and there's a good headpiece, I think, that you have to be dark side for and stuff like that.
Yep. And the Starforge robes only are given to you whether you're light side or dark side.
Yeah, because
You
they
get
just
like a replica of Revan's robes or Starforge Jedi robes.
yeah, I got the Starforged Jedi robes when I did it the last time through. I had never done that. I didn't even know that was a
Wow.
thing. And
It
it's
looks sweet.
yeah, they're just good stats.
Uh-huh.
But I think we'll probably wrap it up there. There's just we could talk
Okay.
forever about this stuff.
There is one thing I forgot to mention earlier about
Okay.
the social justice thing, if you don't mind me getting that in.
Oh yeah.
BioWare actually was one of the first video game companies to include a gay romance in one of their games in Juhani. It was only available for female characters,
Oh right. I completely
which
forgot about
is
that.
sick.
Yeah. Because I was like, I know there's a romance option where you're like, it's like a lesbian option or something, or
Mhm.
just a same sex option. Because I
Yeah.
know if you're a
There's no
female,
gay male option, but
yeah, because if you're a female character, you can romance Karth,
mhm.
which like I had done that one before, and someone in my chat didn't even know about it. I was like, yeah, and I did it on accident. I didn't even like really purposely do it.
You're just being nice to him.
I was just being
He had
very nice
ideas.
to him. Yeah,
Mhm.
but it's yeah. I BioWare was I felt like when it comes to a lot of stuff like that, ahead of their time in some sense,
For sure.
and then the devs all went to other places because they were like, BioWare's kind of not it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, in summary, I really hope that the remake doesn't like try to skirt past tough issues
Yeah,
because
and
the
I
original
thought
didn't.
yeah, the original really, it very much faced the problems and like
Yes.
there is so like it even deals with like obviously like Sith and Jedi are kind of cults in a sense. Like it doesn't
Mhm.
really call them that. Like it does kind of start making you question that, but it when it comes to like radical ideologies and everything, which is a very pertinent thing in current day, there's a lot of like radical ideology stuff in the game, and
Yep.
there's a lot of political discourse stuff in the game, and Manon is such a good and interesting like I feel like they could make Manon's like whole political story a little more in depth because I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot of I feel like it's good that there is some amount of like hey people on like some of the neutral party of Manon know the Sith blah blah blah. Well, I guess there is a little bit of that with the Sith and the Manon like the Manon teenagers that they're capturing.
Yeah.
I had a really interesting, like almost sequence, not even sequence break, but just like weirdness in my game. If you do not go and talk to the guy in the mercenaries area who tells you to look for his niece, you cannot
Mm.
get to where they are in the Sith base.
Huh.
It a Cellcath opens
Good.
that. It's not even like an impossible door, it just is locked. Um, and when you go,
Interesting.
and because what I had to do was I went onto the base, did everything, got the droid part and everything, left, did my court case, got away with it. And then I just because I did the hangar bay, took the hangar bay back after going and talking to that guy, and then that cellcast showed up and opened the door. I,
Good.
I'm kind of hoping there's some more. That made me think of how I'm hoping there's some more fluidity to like allowing you to like instead of having to start at very specific points for certain quests, because
Mm.
similar to like the holocron in the Crate Dragon layer,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
hope you can just find that.
yeah, just be able to
If because
find
I
that.
always do Tatooine first, I would like to be able to just find that in the cave,
Yeah,
and then
it's
maybe later it becomes relevant. But
hmm
going back is just kind of like,
same
why do I have to
thing
do that?
with Mission's brother. Like,
Yeah.
why is he not just because like I remember finding where they put him in my light side
Mhm.
playthrough, and obviously he wasn't there because I hadn't done the
Yeah, I
mission
opened the
quest.
door and I was like, wait, isn't Griff supposed to be here? What am I missing? I was
Yeah.
just missing the conversation with Lena.
Oh yeah. Another interesting thing, one of the only areas in the entire game where taking things actually matters is
Mhm.
the sand people. I was like so surprised by that, and it lets you kill them with no repercussions. You don't even get dark side points. Like
Oh,
if yeah, you steal from them twice, they turn on you, you can kill them all, you can take all their stuff and sell it. All their
Jesus.
sticks. Yeah, I did that. I was like, wait a minute, can I do this? I did it. I was like, this is so dumb. I
I
think
always listen to the storyteller.
mhm. It like I mean I did the whole thing where you like take HK-47 through there and everything.
Yeah.
Like I did it the proper way the first time, and then I went back there and I was like, I need
Mhm.
credits. So you guys have
And I
to
just
die, unfortunately.
murder them.
Yeah, so even though you only get like 750 credits,
And a bantha
yeah, and a bantha,
and some rags.
it's I also had like I didn't realize because I almost always like help do the good side route. If you go and you kill all the sand people leading up to going into their territory, you end up with like 11 of their clothes. Like,
Mhm.
and 9 of them are put in your quest inventory, and then 2 are put in your like only like 2 are put in your actual inventory or something
Mhm.
weird. It was very strange. And they don't sell for anything. So I just had 11 of these
Weird.
fucking things. And at first I was like, is it so you can clothe like every single person in your party if you feel like it? I'm like, but that's too many still. Yeah.
Probably
But
just for flavor.
yeah. Or just, oversight, just some random shit they might have
Yeah,
forgotten.
actually, that's probably more likely.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot they have to do with items and everything, but I don't
Yeah.
it'll be a new experience nonetheless.
Yes.
So, but
I'll fucking play it, the bastards. They got me.
yeah,
Remaking my favorite game, so
turns out you make the game that gives me the good brain juices. I'm gonna buy it and play it, and then hopefully not
yeah.
cry.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But
We'll see. I
yeah,
have a good feeling though. I think
I
they'll do alright by
I
it.
I think Aspire is gonna do their best. Like
Yeah.
they don't have like they have Lucas Games like helping them. I think that's like a good
Mhm.
connection to have. It's a good studio if they have any amount of their people still. Um, and I'm just hoping Disney is like, hey, just do it proper.
Just take as much time as you need, but everybody.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
much time as you need.
Don't go too quick.
Yeah, rushed game is forever bad.
Yeah, if it's rushed, that and then I mean, like you can pull a game out of the ashes, but a game like that, I feel like it just needs its. We already
Mhm.
have a buggy version. We don't need a new buggy version.
Yeah.
So, well,
Maybe at 20 years from now we might have a KOTOR 3. But we'll
oh
see.
my, and that's kind of. I think that should be like the last thing we kind of touch on. KOTOR, like the KOTOR remake, does absolutely rekindle the idea of a third game.
The
It,
possibility of it eventually
yeah,
existing, yeah.
and and there's a lot of like ways they could do it.
Mhm.
And my thought process is like KOTOR 2 is in a state at the moment where it's a mostly functional game. Like it with restored content mod, and
Yeah.
from the way it looks, like since Aspire has ported that to mobile and everything, I feel like it is basically considered like a full add-on for the game in a sense. So there is a full experience. There's a pretty full experience for KOTOR 2 at this point.
Mhm.
Where KOTOR 1 is still kind of in this weird kind of state where there's a lot of things broken. They remake the first game, maybe add little bits, but nothing too big of a change where it doesn't still flow into the second game.
Mhm.
And then maybe they don't remake KOTOR 2 because they're like,
I don't even think they need to.
I
Just
think it's in
just let it be.
they could re-release the game not as a remake, but like a remaster with like everything just pushed into it and like as a full package.
Yeah, just
Like,
give the restored content mod guys couple $1,000 each.
yeah, tell them like, hey guys, we're gonna take this work you did and release it as an
Yeah.
official thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
that's
sure they'd all be like, hell yeah.
yeah. I mean, they did it for free for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And then that just opens. So we get the KOTOR 1 remake that gets received well, does well, everyone enjoys it. It's like, okay, this is best
Hopefully.
case, best case scenario sort
Yeah.
of thing. And then we go into, it's like, okay guys, we're doing KOTOR 3, and it it is going to be interesting since like if they kind of keep to the same kind of basic concept of the ancient Sith and everything, it's going to be a pretty barren area of space.
Dark space.
Dark space, yeah. Ooh. uh and,
Outside of the galaxy.
and I'm just interested to see how they'll do like companions and everything, because they do say like I'm pretty sure they say that at least in KOTOR 2, like with Krea's visions and everything, like a lot of them follow you into deep space. Um and I'd like to see, like, even if you keep companions from from 2, like I'd be fine with that, and that's all you
Yeah, I
get
mean
in 3.
that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe Karth, Bastila, and then the cast of 2 that wants to stay with you.
Yeah, I do like Bastila never shows up in 2, right? Only it's like
She does, but as a holocron.
oh,
And she's in the Telos apartment with Karth at some point.
oh, is she? I thought Karth was there by himself.
If you pick certain options, like if you make Revan a man, I think Bastila shows up as like Revan's lover.
Hmm. I'm kind
Or
of
depending on whether you make Revan light side or dark side in KOTOR 2.
oh yeah,
Something like that.
yeah, it's
If
gonna
you
be
make him dark side, then Bastila is a holocron on Korriban, and if not, then she shows up with Karth on Telos.
interesting. I think I've only, when it comes to KOTOR 2, I think I've only played it through like 3 times. One of them though, like I found my save for it, and it was like fucking a 55-hour save I played through. That must have
Damn.
been like my major, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was insanely leveled. Like, I was like, damn. And I like decided, I'm like, I'm gonna just fight Kreia real quick. I fucking wiped the floor with her. Like,
Hell
I was
yeah.
like, I had a very good, like, that. I don't even know what you can do with that game to necessarily like grind, but I must have done mostly everything.
Mm.
I mean, because and that was restored content, so like you had the extra planet and everything.
Yeah.
But I gotta. I don't know if I'm gonna play KOTOR 2 before I make this KOTOR 1 video or after. I'll probably do it after. So
I think after makes sense.
because
Focus just on KOTOR 1.
yeah, and that's I just got to figure out how I want to frame it, because it's such a.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna partially be a like, hey, remake is coming sort of thing. Let's talk about that, but also like,
Yeah.
it
Discuss what made the original so good.
yeah, and like where it falters, where we can see
Yeah.
improvements. It's just oh yeah, I've been me playing through the games even and just thinking about like all this stuff has been greatly interfering with me making other videos. Like I have a video I meant to have finished for this weekend, not even close to done. I'm gonna hopefully finish it by the end of this week. But
Best of luck.
thanks. Best of luck on your article. That also sounds like it's gonna be hell.
It's hard, yeah. All the news pieces are done. There's no more news, so I just have to write like a blog about how cool KOTOR is and hope that it does well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just connecting all the information with what we like.
Yeah.
All the information
What we
have,
know,
sort of thing.
what we don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, it was good to talk to you about all this stuff.
Yes.
It's a fucking
Thanks for having me.
discussion and a half, but
yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. But ooh, do you have anything you want to plug or anything? Like your Twitter? Do you have like what's your social media?
Don't have any.
You don't have Did you get rid of your Twitter?
I deleted my Twitter, yeah.
Okay. Well, you write stuff for esports talks. I'll
Sure do.
Yeah.
I can DM you my author page.
Yeah, I'll throw the author page in there, something at least.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Of course. Well,
good talking with you.
Good talking with you too.